to El Paso and the borderland. This is ABC 7 at noon.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for ABC 7 at noon on air and live online. I'm Madeline Audley.
And I'm Nick Patrick, and we start with those headlines. A person stabbed in West El Paso. It happened this morning, and it happened just before 2:30 a.m. on Medano Drive. This is a neighborhood just east of I-10 near Red Road. The fire department says a person was stabbed and hospitalized with serious injuries. Police have not said yet if they have any arrests made, and they also have not released what led up to that stabbing. We'll continue to update you on air and live online at kvia.com when we get new information. And happening now, El Paso police are still looking for the driver who hit and injured a firefighter. ABC 7 brought you this as breaking news when it happened yesterday right around 7 o'clock in the morning. Now here's video of that scene over on Trans Mountain. Officials say the firefighter was helping with a crash when another driver struck him. Police say the driver then took off. They say they're looking for a white pickup truck or possibly an SUV. Police say it likely has a damaged windshield. Now officials say the firefighter is in the hospital in intensive care. This map shows exactly where he was hit. It was on Trans Mountain near the Tom Mays Access Road. Police are. And from our New Mexico mobile newsroom, today is the first day of a 37-year and a 5-month sentence for Daniel Lowell. He was convicted of carjacking that resulted in the death of retired Las Cruces police officer. Lowell previously pleaded guilty to 9 counts of carjacking and firearms violations, this all stemming from a 2017 high-speed chase. And that chase ended with a crash that killed retired police officer J.R. Stewart, who is shown right there. These are images of Lowell from an earlier appearance in district court. There's that video right there. Family and friends of Stewart seemed mostly pleased with the outcome, though they did admit they wanted a life sentence for Lowell. Colleagues, family, and friends say they want to remember Stewart for the life he lived, not how he died.
He was a hero. He was a hero to a lot of people, to the community, definitely to the family. We all looked up to him. That was mentioned with some cousins yesterday. He's the fun uncle.
Part of the decision not to give Lowell the maximum was the defense arguing that there was no premeditation. The judge, however, called Lowell a deviant, reckless as he announced his sentence. In addition to the prison term, Lowell will also have to pay $100,000 in restitution.
A lot of serious. And
now to a photo of what appears to be a student holding a handgun. It's now being investigated by the El Paso Independent School District. The alleged incident happened at Nolan Richardson, that's in northeast El Paso. Here's the photo of what appears to be the student inside a restroom, and it was allegedly sent to other students on Snapchat. This happening last week. Now an anonymous viewer claims parents weren't informed about what happened, and a spokesman says campus police are investigating that incident, saying, quote, "The Richardson student has faced punitive action based on the findings of the investigation. The school has been deemed safe and not in imminent danger of violence stemming from that incident." Well, the district could not confirm if there was or was not a gun on campus. The investigation is still ongoing. And now to international news. Conditions for those passengers aboard the Diamond Princess cruise ship, they're just not getting any better. Now, dozens of the new cases of the COVID-19 coronavirus have been diagnosed, including several Americans. Now, since this ship arrived more than a week ago, as those aboard are still forced to stay in their cabins. As the death toll and number of people infected continue to spike in China and around the world, there are more reports of Asians being shunned or even targeted due to fear of the new coronavirus. More than a dozen cases of the virus have been confirmed so far in the U.S. So far, the latest just reported this morning in San Antonio. More than 1,300 people have died, over 60,000 confirmed cases now. Well, let's take a break from those headlines once again. Hey, we've got your traffic track for you right now, and I haven't had to change this camera very often today. We had that nightmare scenario basically on I-10 if you were heading westbound this morning till 8:30. And then right after that, eastbound traffic was snared. And what we're looking at right now, this is that westbound traffic here. It is moving fine. Eastbound traffic the other direction, you're looking good right now. I don't see any issues that are going to pop up for us here on that early afternoon drive. You're heading to lunch. You're in good shape. If anything changes, of course, we'll let you know throughout the show. But anytime you want to get that live check-in traffic, just head over to kvia.com. Click on that traffic tab. I think people needed it this morning. Madeline.
Yeah, what a much nicer picture we're seeing now than we saw this morning. That was awful, Nick. Thank you.
No question. Yes.
And coming up, teachers across the United States trying to end active shooter drills.
Yeah, the reason one of the biggest unions in the country is trying to stop the practice and why they say other approaches are more effective. And overnight, the Fort Hancock Fire Department chief was killed in a car crash. ABC7 obtained this photo of the scene overnight. You can see it there. The Texas Department of Public Safety says Fire Chief Manuel Galindo Jr. was driving a fire truck when for some reason he swerved off the road. When he tried to get back on the road, his truck overturned. He was thrown out of the fire truck, died at the scene. Now, DPS says he was not wearing a seatbelt. Fort Hancock is less than 60 miles southeast of El Paso. That crash happened on Highway 20. This was just before 7 o'clock last night, and investigators have not said what caused him to drive off the road. ABC7 will continue to update this story on air and online when we get new information. Thanks, Nicole. And now to our complete coverage of the suspected Cielo Vista Walmart mass shooter. He's pleaded not guilty once again, and this time for the federal charges he's now facing. This is video of that suspect, Patrick Cruces. It's back from October when he pleaded not guilty for his state charges. ABC7 cameras, or any cameras for that matter, not allowed inside his hearing in federal court yesterday. But our reporter, Saul Saenz, and other members of the media and victims' families were let inside the courtroom. Saul says Cruces was wearing a two-piece suit, but he was also shackled and handcuffed. His lawyers asked the judge to allow their client to not be in his jail uniform. Saul says Cruces looked different, with a new haircut, thinner than the last time he appeared in public.
That's a lot of weight. He's just not eating.
Has he said why he's not eating?
No, he has not.
And Cruces will remain held without bond at the El Paso County Jail downtown, where he has been kept isolated from other prisoners on suicide watch since his arrest on the day of the shooting.
Right, Nick?
That's right. It's Madeline Ollie's birthday. We had to say happy birthday.
Oh my gosh.
I think she thought that we forgot, but we said, no, we're going to surprise her.
No,
I
it's
actually,
just a Thursday.
I might have forgotten for like the first part of the day. All right. I'm not the best co-anchor.
We sat next to each other.
I understand, and I remember.
Thank you.